Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby. You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border, and then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on America's soil. So he became the anchor baby. They don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
What is up, everybody? How you doing? Thanks for tuning in. I'm the American Anchor Baby. Welcome to my show. Starting a little early today. Maybe ill-advised. Some people might miss the beginning. But it's okay because you can podcast my show, American Anchor Baby, on Substack. You can find it on Spotify as well. We're going to start a little early today. I'm ready to go. Raring and ready to go. Wait, my food ain't ready yet. What the? It's okay. You're going to gobble it down in 1 minute anyways. As you watch anybody else get their food ready, I'm going to get down and watch my show, and then it's all gone. I forgot to pray. I already gobbled it up. But, yeah, I'm raring to go. We're starting early. I have a hard cut today at 1. We have the Fallen State coming in here. We're going to get some stuff going with the Fallen State. Brand new episodes coming at you. So I must vacate the premises. So now today I have an excuse. I have an actual excuse today to go 1 hour. Sorry, Mr. Mad, if you're listening. Today I have an excuse. But we got a nice show. We have a nice show ahead of us today. And we're going to get into a couple things. Going to jump right into it here in a moment. But make sure you follow me here on YouTube. Drop that subscribe. Give me a like. Give me a comment. Do you like what you're watching? Do you like the Latin people? Give me a like. Do you dislike? Comment about it. Give me that engagement. Come on. Why are you nervous? So, yeah, on Rumble, American Anchor Baby as well. Gorgonzola on Twitter. We got a nice show. We also have a nice flight. We have a nice flight planned for tomorrow. Might be going over the ice wall. Might be doing a little bit of this and that, but we'll be having a nice show and flight tomorrow. So make sure you tune in tomorrow at 4 p.m. for that, so that you get a seat on the plane. Awesome. So, a little bit of an overlap here. Bit of an overlap. I was putting together my show. I didn't know what Hake was going to talk about. I didn't know what Jesse was going to talk about. It's a mystery. It's a surprise. It is a little bit of an overlap. I'm going to play you the clip shortly here. We'll talk. I'll do a little thing on it. It's about that university girl. You may have seen the clip on Hake Report, okay? Young lady graduating, letting the world know. Letting the world know. You saw the clip. You saw it all. You saw the commentary. You saw the clip. I won't spend too much time, but it'll segue into my show here. Let's just watch that beautiful footage one more time.
Okay, let go. You didn't let me get my moment, so I want to say my name is 𝒏𝒊𝒂𝒎, and I'm graduating today. I don't like how you snatched the mic out of my hand, so today is going to be all about me.
Dang.
Oh, drops the mic. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Boss, we have a boss alert. Out of the way, ladies. Excuse me, boss coming through. Out of the way. I wouldn't call her a lady, says Nicole. Out of the way, girl boss coming through. And if you saw the report on the Hake Report, you have seen her explanation as well. I won't play the clip of her explanation, but there's a little bit of racial. I might say there's a little bit of racial animus there, okay? Because she was saying she was alleging that the person holding the mic was snatching it away from the black graduates a little too quickly for her taste. So when she got the mic, she made it clear that this is her moment. I sense a little bit of New York accent in that video, in that one and the one where she explains herself a little bit. She's like, violated. That's New York. She was bugging, as they say. And again, I won't harp. I'll move on real quick here. But, you know, it doesn't matter what happened, in my opinion. Like, I can't find a way to justify that. I can't find a way. Let's say the white lady who was holding the mic said, you listen here, you I don't know, you black dollar store Sade, I'm going to time you. And if you go a second too long, I'm snatching the mic away, you slave. I don't know. What if even if she was like that crazy? I don't know if you could justify her reacting like that. You know what I'm like? It's not the what was said or the content, but it's her reaction, in my opinion, okay? But there's this black pastor who I saw on Twitter, and if you're watching, we still want you as a guest. Don't shy away, sir. Daryl B. Harrison, okay? And I saw his Twitter. It's how I saw this video. This is how I even came to the awareness of this video. It was a tweet by, let me see if I can show you, this pastor here. Pastor Daryl B. Harrison of the Essential Church. Looks like a older black gentleman, distinguished in his picture. He calls himself a redeemed sinner, biblical counselor, Atlanta native, and he also commented on this video. He didn't quite agree. He didn't quite agree with this lady. He calls it classic woke narcissism. He calls it, this is classic woke narcissism. In all likelihood, she will spend the rest of her life trying to woke-splain her behavior, which undoubtedly she will not take responsibility for, but will blame racism for robbing her of her moment. This is but one example of the psychological malignancy of wokeness. Now, I gotta say, and then we'll move on. Classic woke narcissism. Is that what this is? I feel like that's the first time I've heard of classic woke narcissism. I've heard of woke, I've heard of narcissism, but I mean, this is just classic narcissism. How about classic anger? This is anger and hate, okay? And maybe a little racial animus. Obviously, she made it a little bit racial, saying, well, they're taking the mic away from the black people. They're anti-black. But this pastor here, you know, I don't know much about him, but you're kind of charged with, you kind of have a responsibility here. As a man, as a individual, as a person really in the world, but definitely as a man, as a pastor, spiritual leader, sort of. I mean, have no leaders, but you know, you should have no leaders, but you know, one of the purposes here would be to speak the truth, right? God likes the truth, right? Anyways, he's saying it's classic woke narcissism. I mean, it's anger, it's hatred, it's more like classic white hatred. Classic white hatred. The classic white hatred that's been taught and justified in people, in blacks and POCs in general for a while now. Okay, classic woke narcissism. Just sounds a little, I don't know. It sounds a little like missing the point. And maybe even a little bit of euphemisms here. Because people don't like saying the hard truth. The hard truth. Woke, calling things woke is kind of easy now. Classic woke narcissism. I don't know. I'd stay away. It just doesn't. Oh, we got some statements from Daryl B. Harrison in the chat. There's people in the chat who know him a little bit more than I. Daryl B. Harrison, I believe, also had a great statement on pro-abortion black Democrats that JLP played on the show several months back. Thanks, Hake. Right on. Yeah, he's just a bit of a normie. No hate, but kind of emblematic of the mentality of people and how they respond to these situations, okay? Classic woke narcissism just, it doesn't hit. It just doesn't hit. And the truth hits, doesn't it? I don't know if it hurts. Sometimes it might hurt. But it should hit. Calling it what it is, in my opinion. I'm several months black. Don't clip that. I might be, to be fair. I might be several months black. That might be a true statement of me. Okay. But it's a mess. Snatching the mic away. Okay, let's move on here. Speaking of ladies, because we got ladies. We got a lady problem. On the lady question, there's some ladies in Congress, okay? We got ladies in Congress, and there's a conflict in Congress, and it's been heating up between two firebrand conservative women of the GOP. Yeah. Hardcore. The two ladies I'm talking about are Lauren Boebert, the Republican out of Colorado, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, Republican out of Georgia. Representatives of their districts. Okay? And it's heating up. Now, if you didn't know, there has been talk about impeachment of Biden in Congress, okay? Marjorie Taylor Greene, back in May, introduced articles of impeachment, but she's been talking about impeaching Biden for a lot longer than that. Okay? Speaking on the floor and different things. Currently, though, Republicans, as you know, hold a majority in the House of Representatives. And this came about after the recent midterm elections. You remember that, the results of which also gave the Democrats an extra seat, giving them a majority in the Senate, splitting the Congress. And if you remember, it was 2019 that the then Democratic majority in the House impeached President Trump at the time. And you'll remember also, this past midterms, it was a contentious battle in Congress over who would be the next Speaker of the House. Okay, Kevin McCarthy, at the time, the front runner. But there were also a few in Congress who rejected or objected to his appointment, unless he made some promises. Okay, he was largely seen as establishment, a rhino, would just go along with the establishment. And there was a few of these hard stance MAGA Republicans, if you can call them that objected to it initially, and then, it's okay. We'll play ball if you play ball with us. Promise it, but you have to promise, okay? You have to promise you're gonna do the right thing, okay? Pinky promise. Anyways, you'll remember that whole fiasco. Marjorie Taylor Greene at the time, however, she's been this like pro-Trump, MAGA'd out, MAGA mom, QAnon adjacent, committee assignments removed for being hard stance person, okay? She at the time supported McCarthy's appointment, much to the, chagrin of some of these patriots and MAGA heads. Anyways, Marjorie wants to impeach Biden, okay? If you didn't know. If you didn't know, now you know. She wants to impeach Biden. And this is a bit of a fight, a little back and forth. You remember 2019, the impeachment of Trump, it was a whole thing. Historic. Only the second time or third time or whatever it's ever happened. Now, this didn't remove him from his position. An impeachment doesn't mean a removal. It's just an accusation, right? It has to go up to the Senate, and then the Senate has the power to remove the president should they go through. They act as like the jury or judge and jury should the impeachment move forward and all that. Okay? You following? So a feud has been boiling between Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert for months. Okay? And it finally reached a new level on Wednesday, according to the Daily Beast. And so there's this video going around. It's a little viral, got views, and it's this exchange between Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene on the House floor, the House of Representatives on Capitol Hill, and what some publications are calling an angry exchange between the gentle women. Gentle women, the gentle ladies. I'm talking about these two. Do you know who I'm talking about? Come on, you know who I'm talking about. You're not that under a rock, because I know a lot of us don't really care. We're not really following. So you might enjoy this update. But yes, Lauren and Marjorie, the ladies of Congress, the MAGA ladies. Anyways, here's the angry exchange. Let me play the beautiful footage. Hold up. The beautiful footage of the gentle ladies. Let's watch.
Take your conversations to the back. Off the floor. For what purpose does the gentlewoman... Order, please.
Excuse me, I'm talking to you. Excuse me.
For what purpose does the gentlewoman from Florida, Mrs. Luna, seek recognition?
Miss
Gentlewoman. So they had a little bit of an angry exchange, as some are calling it. Okay? And it came out, the reports have come out, what was said. They're called ladies, not gentlewomen. Cat fight, some of you saying. They're called broads, says Mr. Mad. Mud wrestling would be better served. No women are gentle. Chat coming in with the funnies. But yes, they had an exchange, and it's being reported now. Which Marjorie has confirmed, okay? So here it is. Here's what happened. According to two sources that saw the exchange and a third familiar with the matter, the back and forth began when Boebert approached Greene, then seated in the chamber and confronted her over statements you made about me publicly. All three of the sources said Greene called Boebert a B word. Sometimes I feel like Jesse and I'm like, we'll throw it out. Sometimes I revert to the way I was raised, and I don't say that word. Fickle like a woman. That's not good. But anyways, Greene called her a female dog. According to two of the sources, Greene then stood up and alleged that Boebert copied my articles of impeachment. But wait a second. Here's what I'm not getting. Little B? Whoa, I thought we were all on the same team here. Wait a second. Don't we want the same thing? Don't we want the same thing here? It's like, okay, whoever does it, just impeach the MFer. that was a callback to that another gentle lady. What was her name? Rashida Tlaib. She was like, impeach the MFer. I think about Trump. It's just full of gentle ladies. Just the gentlest of women in Congress. Okay, so they had their little fight. She calls her that word. I'm not understanding. I mean, don't you want the same thing? That's my first thing. Who cares who does it? Isn't this for the people? Aren't you there for the people, to have justice happen, things correctly in the halls of Congress? So they're having their little spat. They're having their little spat here. Hold on, because there's a couple details here that are a little interesting. The name calling was confirmed by another GOP lawmaker, blah, blah, blah. But Marjorie herself, okay. Skimming through this article, hold on. Oh, yeah, right here. Greene describes the source of her discomfort with Lauren Boebert. She says, Lauren Boebert never addressed the Congress. I made it clear to the conference that I have introduced articles of impeachment. literally, since Joe Biden's first day in office. I've been talking about it with everybody, literally everyone, till I'm blue in the face. She later explained to Semaphore, which is another publication, how the exchange went down. And she confirms that she did call her that. And Green says here, Green revealed she told Boebert she was annoyed that rather than support her own impeachment effort, she overtook it. It's purely for fundraising, Green says. It's throwing out red meat so that people will donate to her campaign because she's coming up on the end of the month. Wait, so that's what you're mad about? You want the fundraising instead? I'm not understanding here. What is the... Wait, hold on. Help me understand, ladies. Gentle ladies of the Congress. Help me understand your motivation here. I mean, Boebert, she introduced these articles of impeachment with a little bit of a difference. They're a little bit different from Marjorie's because Boebert's requires that the House vote on it. Okay, there's a little different stipulation between the two, articles of impeachment, I think you can call them. While Green's didn't require a vote, this one, Boebert's forces a vote. Okay, there's a little bit of a difference. But essentially, the purpose would be the same, right, to impeach Biden. So then why, I'm not saying one or the other is right. I'm just saying, why are they fighting? And the nature of the fight seems like it has nothing to do with the substance, which is we need justice. We want to impeach Biden. He's a criminal, blah, blah, blah. His dereliction of duty at the border. That's one of the reasons they give. He's a criminal, right? Shouldn't you be trying to go after him for the... You guys are on the same team. Am I being ignorant here? Or is this just how politics works? This is Congress. Welcome to the 118th Congress. Is this? I believe this is the 118th Congress. How many of those have just been the more of the same? I bet you at least 100 of them. Maybe less. But many of these Congresses, I bet you, have been exactly the same. People wanting the attention on them, or the credit, or the fundraising, or the promotion, the notoriety, the votes. But the truth, the people, I don't know. Is anyone defending the American people? Or is it all just a big show? For people to gain wealth and power, right? Also, women in politics. Am I right? Am I right, fellas? No, but can we leave the estrogen at the door, ladies? There's plenty of weak men too. I'm just saying though. Some things we just already know. Why even mess with them? All a stage, all a show. Totally agreed, David. Yep. Greatest show on earth. Awesome. I see you guys all in chat. Reading your chats here. You guys are great. Thanks for the support. But yeah. If one of you keeps... I don't know if it's one of you in the chat calling me, stop. Yeah, just to get their name out. That's assuming the impeachment is legit, but it's actually 100% political, says Troy. Yeah, it brings into question for me the motivation. Now, I don't really know, because like going after Trump, who was an enemy of the whole establishment and all that, is one thing. But going after Biden and trying to impeach him, would that do anything? Do the Republicans need to do that? Would allowing them to impeach Trump and not impeaching Biden, would that be bad? Or is that just... I would be okay with it if like there was, I guess, real action happening in Congress and people were talking about real things. Then it's like, yeah, debate on the House floor all you want, impeach this person, impeach that person, but as long as you made your bed, you're doing the correct things. I know, vague. I'm not being very accurate here, but you know what I'm talking about. These rhinos don't do anything. They don't do anything. Okay. Marjorie, Lauren. Stop fighting. Stop fighting, ladies. Yeah, what do you guys think? Is this just people in politics with their own agenda? Do they really want to stick it to Biden? Typical women unable to see the bigger picture. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Two mommies fighting. Yeah, I mean, you guys making sense to me. I'm just reading some of your chats here. You guys making sense to me, though. Typical women unable to see the bigger picture. Yeah. And what is the bigger picture here? Because there is like, okay, let's impeach Biden. But there's an even bigger picture beyond that. Okay, they're trying to put this guy in jail. They're trying to put Trump in jail. Hello. Anyways, just my thoughts on that. Yeah, and maybe even a little bit of unable to see the bigger picture, and maybe a little bit of self going on here. A little bit of self promotion, you know. Amazing. Wow. I just got a little bit of I'm moving on from this. I got another story here. I got plenty of stories here. We're going to get into some more stuff here. It should be interesting. And your calls, 888-775-3773. But I just got an interesting report here. Update from Sean. ABC, missing Titanic submersible. All lives lost in catastrophic implosion. That's horrible. Honestly, rest in peace. You know, I've talked about this a couple of days. And something I noticed the past few days, because people are trying to say, oh, you know, don't make jokes. Don't be so glib. While others are saying, who cares? Why? I personally, I'm not going to pretend feign emotion. But at the same time, obviously, I clearly would have wanted them to be found alive and well. Who doesn't? And so, but many are saying, well, they get what they deserve. You just get what and you know, maybe that's fine to say. But there was this one meme, and I'll just talk about this briefly. I didn't plan on talking about it, but we got the update here. Catastrophic implosion. So I don't know if they found the submersible. It sounds like they found the submersible and they found it, I guess, imploded. Sean here with the report. ABC Coast Guard officials said a remote-operated vehicle found the tail cone of the Titan submersible about 1,600 feet from the bow of the Titanic Thursday morning. Honestly, yeah, rest in peace. I don't think anybody wanted that. But there's some people. There was this meme I saw shared by a individual on Twitter, and I think is kind of true. Hey, memes have truth. The memes have truth. Let me show you this. And it was this image of this, you know what, anybody know what a Wojak is? I know many of you know, but if you don't know, for the sake of clarity, a Wojak is this character you see on the left that's drawn. It's an internet character. They use these characters to make, to comment on stuff and make jokes. And so on the top, you see this image of this, one of those, it was this boat full of these illegals. I forget where, from where, going where, but I believe the boat was lost or something like that, and they were in danger. And you see the top Wojak is this character who's mad and saying, no, why didn't anyone save them, about that image of this migrant boat. But then this Titanic submersible, you see the same Wojak all smiling, saying, yes, they're getting what they deserve. I thought the meme was a little poignant, in my opinion. A little poignant meme, okay? I mean, no, just a little thing on there. Anyways, honestly, rest in peace. That's horrible. But a lot of people kind of assumed this already would happen. Considering the details, it didn't seem like the chances of survival. I mean, as time passed, right? It was like 24 hours, 18 hours of oxygen left. And so as the time passed, it became obviously a lot less likely that they would be found living. Okay, more updates here. CNN, Monday, June 19th, 300. That's about how many Pakistani nationals have been killed in the sinking of an overcrowded boat off the coast of Greece, the latest tragedy to expose the refugee crisis in confronting the European Union. Thank you, Hake. This comes as Pakistan is in the midst of its worst economic crisis in decades, with efforts to secure a financial lifeline from the International Monetary Fund complicated by political turmoil in the country. Yeah, it's people online who are saying they get what they deserve. Everything is fake. So. And if there's anyone who's getting what they deserve, to be a little glib here, maybe it's these, people who are going down that sub. They were just trying to enjoy an expedition here, and they knew the risks. But so yeah, in that sense, I guess you could get what you deserve. But those people on that boat are usually, in most cases, people who are about themselves, economic migrants who are going for a better life, meaning, just more stuff, abandoning their country, which is what I did. So that's why you don't want these anchor babies around, because we've destroyed our pair bonding with nations the same way women who have too many relationships. I think they say this about men as well, but people who have way too many sexual relationships, they end up destroying their pair bonding, which is the natural bonding mechanism that lets you stay married longer. I've destroyed my pair bonding with nations due to illegal immigration. That's why you don't want a bunch of us around. Dual citizens. Okay, let's move on here. We got more stuff. Speaking of women and cat fights, I'm segueing from the Marjorie stuff, okay? But speaking of mommies, mega moms, Alec Baldwin is in the news, okay? Alec Baldwin is in the news again. You know him, famous movie actor. Embroiled in the Rust controversy, where Baldwin was filming a movie on set, okay, was given a live firearm by some stoner woman, which he proceeded to shoot and accidentally kill cinematographer Helena Hutchins. Okay, you remember all this? Famous movie actor, famous Trump impersonator. Not very nice, though. He does the same Trump impersonation every hater does, where their Trump impersonations always sound the same. They're like, I'm Donald Trump and I'm colluding with the Russians. When it's just, that's the hater impression, okay? Because Trump says his ands, his mouth goes small. I'm colluding with the Russians, but his mouth goes big and wide when he says when A's. A sounds like and I saw. So only haters do the wrong impersonation. But I don't know if he's a hater. He might be. And I saw, but he's in the news because his wife was in the news. Okay, Hilaria Baldwin is in the news after she did some interview, okay? She did some interview where she revealed that she is Hilaria Baldwin on 26-year age gap with husband Alex. Sometimes I'm his mommy. Ooh, not what you want to hear. Blech. Not what you want to hear. Yeah. I'm his mommy. What the heck? Why would you ever go to a publication, anywhere public, anywhere it's written, or to any person at all, even if it was not recorded, and say that about your husband, that you're his mommy? Am I his mommy? Sometimes I'm his mommy. Sometimes. She told Romper in an interview. Okay, let's pull up the comments here. Yeah, this. Secondly, this is the interview she did with Romper. She adores the baby phase. They're writing about Hilaria Baldwin. She refers to having babies as creating love. and from what I can tell, gets deep joy from taking care of others. That's why she became a yoga teacher, she says. This tendency also extends to her husband. Am I his mommy, she says. She giggles. Sometimes I'm his mommy, sometimes. At the beginning of our relationship, everyone was like, she must have daddy issues because she's married to somebody older. But it's actually the opposite. Ugh. Nah. Doesn't sound good. Now, I grew up in a time when saying something like that is the most normal thing in the world. It's the most normal, natural thing. There are no, male roles and woman roles in a marriage. There is no such thing, okay? The natural thing is that we're totally equal, and then you just decide and choose what you want, okay? Sometimes the woman is leading, and sometimes the man leads. I grew up in a time, and I thought that at one time as well, that it was the most normal and natural thing to say. So maybe Hilaria doesn't know. She is 39. He's 65. She is 39, right? Maybe she doesn't know. But women know about masculinity and somewhat, okay? And they know how to emasculate, and they know what men don't want or don't like, okay? Even if it's not their express intention to emasculate or embarrass. So maybe she doesn't know, but women know. Women know. And this is a pretty serious thing in the world right now, because at the same time, even though it's silly, whatever, she may have just said this thing as like a little aside thing. It's one of the main issues going on right now. Even the like alpha red pill date people who get all these women or tell you to get all these women, they're all simps to women, okay? I'm talking about these red pill, Andrew Tate, blah, blah, blah people. Acquire all this stuff and money and so you can look good for women, so you can acquire women. Act this way and talk this way so that you could be attractive to women. And you know what I'm talking about here? You know who I'm talking about. They're usually right about stuff about women, but their manhood and all that is seemingly contingent on women and how women react to them. Okay? Now, I'm not saying a woman is not a litmus test at times. I'm not saying a woman can't be a litmus test on certain things, but you see what I'm saying here? When real men are naturally enemies of everything going on, okay? Just by being themselves. Because, real men, they can't help but be honest. Your very existence, it challenges lies, okay? So, yeah, the world hates them. That's a huge thing that's going on. The world hates masculinity, true men, for that very reason. That's kind of a vague overview of it, but it's true. I mean, Google hates them. Google hates them. Check this out. You guys got to see this. I was doing a little Googling, as I do. You don't do your Googles? You're telling me you don't do your Googles? I was doing Googling, as I do, and I looked up, how many kids does Alec Baldwin have? And Google spits out this right here. Check it out. I Googled, how many kids does Alec Baldwin have? It says 1. And I'm like, wait a second. I just read this article. I literally just read this Hilaria Baldwin article where it says she has 7 kids. Google says he has 1 kid. And so I Googled, how many kids does Hilaria Baldwin have? And here with this, it only gave one number for Alec. Here it says 7. It gives a whole explanation. But it's weird because it says proud dad Alec Baldwin. Hold up. What's going on here? Well, it turns out Alec Baldwin had a child with a previous marriage, okay? A daughter. His first child was also a daughter with Hilaria Baldwin. Take that how you will. Make your accusations if you must. He had two daughters. Well, he has more than 2, but a daughter with his first wife and a daughter with the second. But when you Google it, it says he has only 1 kid and Hilaria has 7. I'm sorry, Google. I don't know if you knew, but those are his kids. It should say 8. It should say he has 8 kids. What's going on? Okay, do your Braves or do your Googles, whatever you must. But what's going on here? It should be 8 kids, Google. What the heck? Those are 8 of Alec Baldwin's children. 7. 1. 1 for Alex, 7 for Hillary. Those are 8 for him, and maybe 7 for her, but his as well. The heck, Google? You don't know what you're talking about. Google hates men too. Let me see here. But here's a little thing about, talking about mommy issues and relationships. Here's a little thing on relationships, okay? Because we talk about like the order, overcoming the mother, and we see this dynamic in relationships where the man becomes the boy and the woman becomes the mother. And it's a main thing that Jesse Lee Peterson has been talking about, a thing that it speaks to me on a deep level, overcoming my mother and seeing that dynamic played out in my relationships and what I've learned about that. And here's the little thing that I've noticed, because a lot of you maybe as well, you woke up and you want to have this amazing alpha relationship and be fruitful and multiply and be the head of your wife as you're called to be. And and you want to have this amazing alpha relationship. But the thing is, you got to have a little bit more understanding of yourself, because you're not, or else you would already be that. You would already be this alpha with you know what I mean? Handling your wife. Okay? So maybe you're in a relationship and you woke up and you want this amazing alpha relationship. But you got to be a little bit more understanding of yourself, okay? Like I said, you woke up and you're starting to see everything about yourself. So maybe don't have an expectation on yourself on how you should be, because I'm telling you right now, it's not going to work out. And unless you're already that, then don't even listen to me. Move on. But a lot of us waking up and all that, you want to seem a certain way or be something, but don't pretend, okay? That's all I'm saying. Because this is the beauty. You're still a man. You're still the man. You have the ultimate influence. Even if you're like weak, you still, even in that upside down relationship, you have the ultimate influence because you're leading the way to weakness. Are you following me here? You have the ultimate influence, okay? She literally cannot lead the way, okay? Let's say you're waking up, okay, or maybe you're not waking up, or maybe she's not waking up. But let's say she criticizes you and she's right about you. Or, let's say she counsels you, whatever you want to call it, gives you advice. In that moment, if you don't overreact, she's not leading you. You can be an example in all situations. And then you can grow in that moment. And as long as you're growing, as long as you're not overreacting, you're leading the way. Okay? So it's just a little thing I noticed, okay? I'm not married. I don't got all the answers. But it's a little thing I noticed that is I believe true. Oh, Nick, you're hiding your face behind the mic. My bad. But seriously, you're leading the way. Look, don't have such an ego about yourself. And I'm telling you this, I kind of went through it a little bit. Am I revealing myself too much here? But look, she can't lead the way, okay? So just don't lose it inside. Don't lose the mind game in your heart. Just know it. Just know it. You're a boss. Be the boss. Calm down. Relax. Okay. But on this, on this though, back to Alec, back to the Baldwins, because he might not be a beta. I see you guys have enjoyed this report for the past few minutes here. You guys are going, oh, Alec Baldwin's a beta, Baldwin this, mommy that. But check this out. Check this one out. Because as you know, they have 7 babies together. Baldwin and Hilaria, 8 with his previous one. That's 8 white babies, last I saw. Okay, she may be mommy this, mommy that on a podcast, and I hope they had a conversation afterwards. Hey, honey, can we talk? So, mommy, yoga instructor? Yeah, I hope they had a good chat about that afterwards, because you're the wife. You kind of have a responsibility here, presenting yourself a certain way. Don't embarrass your husband. Okay, it's about respect. Okay. You went on an interview and said you're my mom. Yeah, let's talk about that. But he may not be as beta as you think. Okay, we're talking 8 white babies. What the heck are you doing? Now, it's not just enough to have babies. We all know this because beta, weak men raise weak children, and it just brings more evil into the world. But there is some interesting stuff here, because there's people who are saying she shouldn't be having so many babies. Even her own doctor told Hilaria Baldwin that you shouldn't be having so many babies. She said she had her 7th. Okay, she had her 7th. She welcomed her 7th. And she revealed how every single time I have a baby, my OB, which I forget what that stands for. OB, that might be OBGYN. I don't know. But some doctor person writes down the vasectomy doctor on a Post-it, and I bring it home to Alec. He hasn't done it yet. So her own doctor, she added that she's not on birth control because it makes her feel depressed. See, ladies, don't be messing with your chemicals. How about, find Jesus. You don't need birth control. And he doesn't love you if you're having birth control sex. He doesn't love you. So stop it. Okay. But anyways, look, this doctor is telling her to stop having babies. Doesn't sound very Christian. But every single time I have a baby, my OB writes down the vasectomy doctor. Why are you getting involved? Let them have babies. But she brings it home to Alec, and he hasn't done it. She says he hasn't done it yet. Does that mean he's expressed wanting to do it? But hey, we got 8 white babies here, okay? Alec Baldwin's wife explains why they haven't stopped growing their family, despite criticism. Yeah, they're getting criticism because people are haters. People see big families, especially if they're white, and you'll get these little Twitter heads responding to any story of a big white family going like, ew. Ugh, happy people. But in an interview, Hilaria admitted she probably had her last baby, but she's never fully able to decide. Yeah, because the man decides, and she knows it. People like to have a lot of opinions about women's reproductive choices, she stated. Either we have too many kids or we have too few. She feels awful when on birth control. A little warning there. And she's not leaving the possibility of another child completely out of the question because she loves giving birth, she says. She gushed. This last time around, I pushed her out in a minute. Giving birth is like going down a water slide that's really scary, and then you get to the bottom and you're like, I want to do this again. Okay, ladies, so don't listen to your little emotions. Don't listen to your OB. Listen to your man. Right on. Hey, it's a party over on Rumble. What's up, Based Nation? Haven't seen that name. Being Enlightened Till I Rise, of course, and Big Mama Obama. Come on, don't be fighting with my mods. Don't be doing that, okay? I don't want to hear that. But yeah, it's a party on Rumble. What's up? Amazing. So yeah, 8 white babies. That's it on the Baldwins, though. I believe that's it. I believe that's everything about the Baldwins. But yeah. We got mommies. We got mommies. We got ladies. Let's see. What shall we do now? What shall we do? What shall I do today? What shall I... What the heck is that? What am I singing? What shall I do today? What shall I... Okay, we got the emancipation question. let's get into this, okay? Because I was putting together. Oh, hold on. Before I get right into this story, let me check. Let me check something here. Beautiful. Stream is still going well. Okay. So I was putting together Bible Thumper Thursday intro. Okay, we all love Bible Thumper Thursday on the JLP show, on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. You gotta love it. You gotta love. Sorry, I gotta stop reading chat. You gotta love Bible Thumper Thursday. And I was putting together a fresh Bible Thumper Thursday intro. Why, George, God. And I came across this clip, okay? I came across this clip shared by this channel, by this Twitter account called Woke Preacher Clips. And I enjoy many of those Woke Preacher Clips, which I use, okay? And so I came across this clip that I have to share with you guys. I have to share with you guys because it looks like a pastor leading some kind of Juneteenth. It sounds like they're Christian. But hey, what's up, Teresa? So yeah, Juneteenth. They're having a little Juneteenth service or something like that for their congregation there at church, and you have this one man asking this other man, males maybe, about Juneteenth and black people and Christianity and the church, okay? And what was brought up, sorry, I'm laughing at chat. What was brought up during this conversation, I feel like I've heard a lot before on my show, callers on the Jesse Lee Peterson show, callers on the Hake Report, maybe even on Joel Friday. But JFTV, you got to check out Joel Friday if you haven't. And I feel like this is a common topic and conversation, okay? And it centers around black people, Christianity, stuff like black Hebrew Israelites, and the so-called blackness, affirming blackness, and the so-called blackness of Christianity or lack of it, and why Christianity is not for blacks. Okay, so these topics have come up. And I feel like it was well summarized in this clip here, where this man is talking about affirming blackness and why he believes there is that the Christian church is losing blacks. Okay? Let me pull up that beautiful footage. Check it out.
Final question here, Preston. In light of the scriptures, in light of the history associated with Juneteenth, because it can't be lost on us, that Juneteenth commemorates the end of slavery. And also, it started a new form of oppression here in this country. In light of the scriptures, in light of this history, what would you say to the church about Juneteenth? And what invitation would you extend?
Man, that's a really good question. For me, I think one of the other questions that we didn't get to is why should the church affirm blackness? And I think it kind of just ties into that question. I do a lot of apologetic work. So ministering to Jehovah's Witnesses, but particularly, black religions like Hebrew Israelites, Moors, Muslims.
Moors?
And
We still have Moors?
that we have to understand is that a lot of these black religions is a result of white supremacy. They were fueled out of white supremacy. It was a way for black people to find dignity, to find hope, to find a place of belonging outside of the Christian church because of our unfortunate history. And so I think that if we don't affirm Juneteenth, and if we don't affirm, our history and acknowledge our history, I think we run the risk of driving so many other black African Americans in the hands of false religions. Wow. I think that we run the risk of if we sweep what we've been through under the pulpit in the Christian church, As soon as they go out there, they're going to hear that Christianity is a white man religion, and guess what? They're going to believe it. And if we don't affirm it in the church, guess what? Somebody in the world is going to affirm their blackness. Come on. If we don't affirm it in the church, and so it's more than just being woke, right? It is
amazing. So yeah, okay, and again, I feel like this topic has been brought up on my show a lot, and I've heard it a lot, and I've seen, and this reasoning I've heard used as the reason why blacks are moving towards, for example, black Hebrew Israelites and all that. I feel like I had a conversation with Frederick about this, which, by the way, Frederick, I hung up on you, man, and I hung up on you on, I don't think that was right. I don't think I had to hang up on you like that, okay? So just saying. But seriously, I feel like a lot of people use this as a form of justifying, I don't know, being a black Hebrew Israelite or all that. And I don't know about that stuff, okay? So when I get callers saying I'm a black Hebrew Israelite or whatever, I'm not going to be the one saying, oh, you're not this or that, when I don't really know what I'm talking about, okay? So I don't want to just like look silly. Look silly talking about something like that. But here's my thing, okay? They're saying affirming blackness, okay? You got to affirm blackness or we'll lose blacks to all these other religions, okay? The religions that are affirming their blackness, okay? And you heard the guy asking the question, right? He mentioned how the history associated with Juneteenth, slavery. Okay, so already we're talking about slavery. He talks about how afterwards it was a new form of oppression. Okay, so we didn't get over it. And he says that black religion is a result of white supremacy, that it fueled these religions, okay? But affirming blackness, which is vague, let's be real. What is that? Affirming blackness means justifying anger, okay? It means telling people you are right. What you're feeling, the anger you're feeling, you're right about it. It's not about getting the facts right, getting the history right, because then people would just seek that knowledge themselves, figure it out, come to a belief of it, whatever, and then just be happy, just be fine. Some might say, well, Nick, you got to correct a past wrong. We got to get to the bottom of it, right? Getting to the truth. But it's not about that, and let me tell you how I know why. See, they have this Juneteenth narrative, okay? And it's supposed to be this celebration of the end of slavery, okay? Think about this for a second. Take this in. Who disagrees with that narrative, like in a significant way? Nobody. We're talking about the GOP. We're talking about, conservative, the Republicans. We're talking about Fox News. They're all about Juneteenth. Republicans, the GOP Twitter account. Hey, this is a good Juneteenth celebration, blah, blah, blah. Fox News, Republicans, GOP, like Juneteenth that's everybody. Who disagrees with that narrative in a significant way? Tell me who. So you got the truth already then move on. Literally, okay, so you have some people who disagree, but who left, right, Democrat, Republican, the media, Fox News, who disagrees with that Juneteenth narrative? Okay, well, yeah, we don't like slavery, and who disagrees? So you got your truth. You got to the bottom of it. Then move on. Let's stop playing, though. They're angry, and they need a justification of it because there's no way an angry person is at peace. We know this. You need someone to justify that chaos you're feeling inside, to give it a name, give it a face, a white face that you can hate, okay? We know this already. And also, it feels a little weak, like, how the Christians affirm the queer. We need to affirm queer for the young people, or else we're going to lose Generation Z. You already lost them, first of all. And how do you think pride flags got into the church? Because you didn't want to lose members of the church, and you wanted to affirm their queerness. Well, it's the same thing here. But anyways, back to what I was saying. Who's disagreeing with the Juneteenth narrative? So it's not about getting to the bottom of it and the truth. It's not. And I'm showing you here. And I have to comment on this. They're saying black people are looking for a place to belong. And, white religion, implying white religion wasn't a place for them to belong. What is Christian about that? Help me understand, what is Christian about looking for a place to belong? Help me understand where Jesus was teaching us to find a place we belong. Well, didn't he come to divide? Are we going to be persecuted? What's going on here? A place to belong. There is no black or white, Jew or Gentile. What happened to that? Affirm our history. So what does that entail? What is tell me, please express to me, what is rubber meets the road? What does that entail to affirm history? Does it just mean knowing it? Then go and know it and be happy then. Leave me. You know what I'm saying here? If we don't push them, this person in the video I played says that they need to affirm their blackness so as to keep them in the Christian church, or else they're going to go to these other black religions that do affirm their blackness. That's like telling a drug dealer, that's like looking at drug addicts and saying, we need to give them drugs and affirm their addiction, or else they're going to go to and go get drugs from the drug dealers. What the heck is going on? Affirm blackness. It's really a shame. It's really sad that this is how they speak. Affirm anger is what they're saying here, okay? Imagine telling a drug addict, like, oh, no, if we don't give them drugs, they're going to go to get drugs from drug dealers. No, we need to keep them here. Let them leave. Let them leave the church. They don't want the truth. Why do you need to have... You know what I'm saying? Why do you need to have them in your church? They're angry and they don't want to get over it. Let them leave. They don't want the truth. Most people aren't going to. They're not going to find the truth. You know, we think about trying to convince people, and we fight about these issues, transgender, this or that, thinking people are going to wake up, or they're not. Haven't we had homosexuality since like the beginning of time? Do we really think people are just going to wake up and be like, yes, we're not going to be sexually immoral, like in a large way? I'm not saying we can't have more, I'm not saying we can't have Christian leaders trying to lead things in a nice direction and then laws get made because we're going in that direction. I'm not saying we can't do that, but do we really think the vast majority of people are going to have this awakening and they're going to be... Anyways, and I was interested in this whole topic too, because I came across this guy on Telegram. His name is John Miller, okay? He's a black man, but he's like pretty based, okay? He's like in Telegram, he's totally banned on Twitter for like talking about slavery in like a pretty based way. Like he's like a super banned. He's like super banned, okay? You know the banned people, the censored people are based, okay? No matter what color they are. And he wrote on Telegram something that I found quite interesting. He wrote this. He wrote, "Black Americans are supposed to be slaves. I got in a lot of trouble last Juneteenth for tweeting about how freeing slaves was a mistake, the beginning of a series of tweets that led to a permanent ban. But the truth is, the American black was conceived and integrated into the American framework as a servant or field hand. We were literally genetically bred for it. You can't just set us free and have us thrive. It's like training an attack dog and then giving him back as a loving pet to a family with small kids, and no blueprint on how to behave. When you give blacks autonomy, it ends in shootings because we are not supposed to exist here as free men." Now, I just can't agree with that. There may be some truth to like slavery. I don't think this whole thing on like, oh, slavery was this horrible thing. I think there were blacks who benefited from slavery. I mean, think about becoming Christian, first of all. I mean, maybe many of you disagree, but I see that as a pretty big benefit. Your progeny gets to live in America and they're Christian. Now, but I just can't. I have an issue. I take a little bit of an issue with this. I mean, not personal issue, but because this is what I don't understand. What is holding you back? This is my thing with the Black Hebrew Israelites and this whole topic here. because I don't know what you guys talk about sometimes. I'm not going to deny it and then look silly. Oh, you're not a Black Hebrew Israelite. But it seems a little divorced from reality. What is in your way today? You can get a job and make moves in the world like the rest of us. Now, maybe there's things in the way. Fair, we could talk about it. Let's say this was a racist system, okay? Let's just pretend for a second, because racism doesn't exist. But let's say this is an oppressive racist system. Why does the answer have to be, when you set us free, it ends in shootings, because we're not supposed to exist here as free men? Says who? You're saying, I'm a Black Hebrew Israelite, or I'm a descendant of a slave, and this is why I'm like this, is literally ignoring the reality of you're here now and they're not. Am I making any sense here? Am I making any sense here? We're not supposed to exist here as free men. Like, I think maybe it's a little misunderstanding of what it means to be free. Okay? When you give blacks autonomy, it ends in shootings. That's not why they're shooting, though. They're not just suddenly free. It's not like blacks are now free and they're like, wow, I'm now autonomous. Let me go straight to my first natural move. Let me shoot people. That's not what's going on here. They're not autonomous. They're subject to their anger. So they're robots, influenced by the devil, by their anger. So it's not they're autonomous and you let them free and now they're, you know what I mean? Like, that's just kind of my thinking of it. Maybe because I somewhat believe in Christianity and God here, the immaterial. I'm not saying biology and race doesn't exist. I'm not saying that, slaves and blacks maybe have had to deal with different obstacles because of differences between the races. Look, I'm just at the bedrock. Aren't we Christian here? At the bedrock of it all. You're not autonomous if you have anger. Anyways, that's kind of my thinking on this. That's my thinking of this. Be free men talking. I have callers coming in, and I see you guys coming in, and I do appreciate it, but I can't get to you guys. It's 1 o'clock, and we need to switch it up for the fallen state. Mr. Mad, I don't know if you heard me earlier. I know you've been wanting longer shows, but today I have an excuse. Today I get an excuse to leave. But don't miss tomorrow. Join me tomorrow at around 4 o'clock. We're going to take a flight. We're going to have a nice long flight. We're going to make up for all the lost time, Mr. Mad and everybody else. Join me tomorrow at around 4. We're going to try and take off 4 o'clock sharp. We'll try. But we're chartering a flight tomorrow. Make sure you join me. Should be fun. Yes, we have a Fallen State taping in the studio right now, so I must vacate the premises. I hope you've enjoyed the show today. I sure did. Appreciate you being with me and all the support. Sorry, callers. Call me tomorrow. We're taking a flight. All right, y'all. Appreciate it. How many more times can I say goodbye, and how many more times can I say I appreciate it? Not enough. But sincerely, take care. Catch me tomorrow. Peace.